Health insurance for as little as $1,700 every 3 months. Visit SagicoreAgricare.com to learn more. Farmers and fisherfolk, get the insurance coverage your family deserves today with Sagicore Agricare Plan.
Prepare for the future with over $3 million in cash and prizes with Tang. From May 9th to July 30th, a chance to win monthly prizes of laptops, tablets, smart savings accounts, school supplies voucher. Grand draw on August 17th. First place $1 million, second place $500,000, third place $250,000. Buy any 6-pack of Tang for a chance to win. Upload to tangpromotion.com. Drop in supermarkets or mail PO Box 2010 CSO.
That chicken smells so good, even though I'm having fish right now. Either one will be great with my red stripe light.
Take your mind off my chicken now.
Just chill now and let's enjoy this refreshingly light moment with our food and red stripe light.
Red Stripe Light, the refreshingly light beer. Chill look, same great taste. Must be 18 years or older. Enjoy responsibly.
It's the Frito-Lay Perfect Match promotion.
Well, you know, give me a second and let me tell you about it. Frito-Lay, I step up in a with it. You win $1 million in it. A bag of prizes, Frito-Lay, I give you $1 million for the winner there. A trip to Champions League finale. Home entertainment system give a
Purchase 4 of the following Frito-Lay brands: Doritos, Lay's or Ruffles, but one must be Lay's. Register and upload your proof of purchase on FritoLayPromotion.com. Promotion runs March 14 to May 31. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
IRFM will be rolling with the stars come May 29 when we travel to Miami to be with the best of the best.
The likes of the legendary Beresford Hammond.
Mr. Vegas.
Sham.
hands off my property. This is not monopoly.
As well as IRFM Music Awardees, Yaxter, Tentic, and the Dirt Bones Man, Lawley.
Everybody passes.
All will be there for the 16th staging of the best concert at the Bayfront Park in Miami.
Join the IRFM team of Courtney Mack
and Big A
for accurate, real-time, and colorful highlights of the event on WhatsApp and IRFM.net.
While our social media team gives you the pictures and the videos on all our social media platforms.
Nah, malalai. It all comes to your courtesy of
Tiles R Us Limited, Ballards Valley Junction, St. Elizabeth. For all your tiles and bathroom fixtures, call 965-1896. Tiles R Us.
Any Bet. Enjoy more winnings with Any Bet, Jamaica's premier betting company with over 40 locations nationwide. Any Bet reminds you to game responsibly.
Solid Concrete. Whether I'm doing a foundation, concrete, roof, big or small jobs, I only use pre-mixed concrete. For the best in pre-mixed concrete, Solid Concrete at 876-781-7815.
And the Prestige Phone and Accessories for all your cell phone repairs and hard-to-get cases in Ocho Rios, Savlamar, and Mandeville. Massive auto parts and car sale. 158 Main Street, Pineapple, Ocho Rios. WhatsApp or call us at 876-298-6413 for the best in auto parts and car sales. We got you covered. Money College, Galena and Port Maria, St. Mary, Linstead, St. Catherine, and the main campus, Monique St. Anne. Call Money College at 876-973-0489. Your opportunity for success. Real Deal Windows and Doors, Tower Isle, St. Mary. For all your sliding glass windows and doors in all colors. Staircase and balcony glass rails at the most affordable prices. Call us 876-867-9349 or 876-328-8760. We are here for you. Visions with Dreams Villa, Runaway Bay, St. Anne. Come visit us and stay in one of our spacious rooms. Hang out on the rooftop hangout spot or by the pool. To book your rooms, call 876-973-4186. Your experiences will be memorable. Contract Music Marketing, promoting John Jr. hit single Every Morning for Stingray Records, now available on all digital platforms.
Every morning, night till dawning, I'll be there loving you. Every morning, night till dawning.
Yeah! Well, the people need joy.
The Legal Aid Council will host a Justice Fair at the Claude Stewart Park, Port Maria, St. Mary, Friday, May 27, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Come out and benefit from free legal advice, assistance with expungement, victim support, birth registration, housing application, passport, and other government services. The Ministry of Justice, taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
St. Anne Association of Branch Societies JAS presents its annual Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show this Thursday, May 26, 2022 at the Port Road Sports Club, Naranda Discovery Bay, St. Anne. Come see Farm Queen competition, horticultural display, pushcart derby, donkey race, best dressed donkey pageant, and a massive farmers market and plant sale. Attractions include Kiddies Village and T5 Crate competition. Admission adults 500, children 200. Catch the People Station Irie FM live on location or on the 107s as we give the 411 on an edutaining day starting at 9 a.m. That's a live broadcast from St. Anne Association of Branch Societies JAS annual Agricultural, Industrial and Food Show this Thursday at the Port Road Sports Club, Naranda Discovery Bay, St. Anne on the nation's #1 Irie FM.
Good afternoon and welcome back. You're inside the Easy Skanking on your 107s. And yes, you know what time it is. It is time right now for Road to Success, the journey. So we have to make way for the champion.
Now I'm much greater. I've learned from a failure. Dedication, discipline and drive. Seizing every moment that comes up in this life. Climbing to a higher heights. Of the eyes of a tiger, fist of a fighter, I'm a survivor. If you have the heart of a lion, push up your lighter, blaze up the fire. Only way.
From selector to sound system owner, Keith Walford is the founder of Bass Odyssey Sound System from way out of country. In the early 1990s, the Keith Walford-led Bass Odyssey had garnered a huge following in the Jamaican diaspora in the USA, Canada, and the UK. Their clash wins include the UK Cup Clash Sound Clash in 2006, 2007, 2008, and 2014, the New York World Clash and Jamaica World Clash in 2005 and 2012, and the Guinness Sounds of Greatness and the UK Tag Team Cup Clash both in 2010. In 2011, Bass Odyssey's founder Keith Walford got elected to the Parliament of Jamaica representing the St. Anne District for the People's National Party. In 2014, to celebrate its 25th anniversary celebrations, Bass Odyssey hosted Jamaica's first ever sound system festival in Richmond, St. Anne. Today we journey with Keith Walford on the road to success. Mr. Walford, welcome and thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us.
Yes, Kashima, thanks, and say howdy do, hello to all the listeners out there, and it's a real pleasure to be back on the airwaves of Irie FM or Reggae Radio. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. No, let us just jump right into the foundation for you. How would you describe your childhood growing up?
Fun, good. Played a lot of cricket, football. I was always into sports, still into sports, although I don't play it competitively anymore, but I lead with it. And went to Charlton Infant School. That's the community that I still live in, called Alexandria. Went on to Inverness Primary, and then 1971 on to York Castle High School in Brownstown. So I really think I had a fun childhood. I was lucky enough to have a father and a mother who supported me, and was able to really do a lot of things that I wanted to do.
That's awesome. Since you mentioned York Castle, share with us a memorable moment that still stands out in your mind, even as an adult, that you experienced at York Castle High?
So many, my dear, so many. But I can remember at York Castle, we had this group with guys, young Rastas, who used to beat the drums in the hills, Of course, York Castle is in the hills. The school is located in the hills. And every break time, you would have these Rasta guys who beat the drums, and you could hear it from the school compound. And the music really started there because they were a set of guys who constantly played music. And I would look forward to hearing them. And as much as we didn't share the same religion or so forth, but I remember when they came with the song from Burning Spear, The Foggy Road, and when it was played at a York Castle party, it was a Christmas party, the amount of response that it generated from those students. And I think that was my first step into really the love of music.
So even though, you know, through hearing the drums, you know, you started developing a liking for the music, you said, but after leaving your castle, you actually helped your father expand his mechanic business. Take us back to this period in 1976.
Well, my father was a mechanic in the Alexandria area, top mechanic, but he had some jukeboxes that he had along the way. You know, jukeboxes, for those who don't know, these are the machines that you put into bars and you drop a 10 cent in. At that time, you put a 10 cent in and you get 5 songs for your selections. So we would do that on the side. And every time we were on holidays, I would help him out with that aspect of things. And when I graduated now from your castle, I decided that, well, I'm going to learn how to fix these things and I'm going to learn how to run it. And that is where I started as a young entrepreneur, getting the business of my own. Because at first I wanted to maybe work as a banker, apply to Kaiser for a job as a truck driver, didn't come through. So my father said, you know, the best thing to do, son, take over these jukeboxes. I'll get you a few more and push you on the way. And of course, that's where it all started.
Tell us about Keith Walford, the young entrepreneur now, fixing the jukeboxes. And I can just imagine how this would have been like a hands-on experience now for you as it relates to the music. Because, you know, here it is, you can put in your 10 cents, you get your 5 songs. And this is, tell us about Keith Walford, young entrepreneur doing this.
Yeah, man, well, jukeboxes, you always have to be putting the top songs that people love to play because the jukebox only holds a certain amount of songs, maybe like 50 or 100 records, somewhere around there, because it's been a long time. So you always have to be putting in the top 10. And whenever you go to the locations, the bars, and you take some songs there that people don't like, you'll get the cursing of your life. What you going them fool song there? So... you know, you had to make sure that you had the songs that people wanted to hear, the hits to put in the jukeboxes. And really it was a real learning curve, you know, starting there. And I have to remember my friend Bonnie from Duane Park and Winston, because they were the first ones who really helped to teach me the ways in the jukebox thing, learning how to fix them and so forth. It took me on quite a bit of journey because fixing jukeboxes and learning how to do it, I traveled the entire length and breadth of the island of Jamaica. I remember being in Negril, St. Thomas, because that's the way how to learn. You'd have to go where the jukeboxes are actually on location and learn how to fix them. So for the first year or two, that was what I was doing. I was in Mandeville at one time, in Kingston at one time, getting experience, and then coming back to take over on my own and expanding the jukebox business on my own. And in the midst of all of that, I never forgot cricket. Was always playing cricket for my club, my parish, and even on to the Trials of Jamaica under 19. So it was a very, very fun-filled childhood, I would say. Always had things to do. You know, you get up each morning and wonder what you're going to do now, because there's so many things to do.
And I did a bit of digging on you in doing the research, and I found that, you know, you used to also play at weddings and parties before you actually ventured into the aspect of the sound system business. So tell us about Keith Walford now playing out at parties and taking things a step up now from the jukebox, fixing the jukeboxes right across the island and getting that experience and exposure.
The old bass artists thing came through again through jukeboxes, because I remember whenever I got a little extra money, and this is the first time, I remember saying to my friends that I'm going to get a component set. a component set, one of those little mini systems you put in your home. And I remember journeying to Kingston and acquiring one. And the love of the music led me to start doing cassettes. We used to stay home and record cassettes and just give them to the taxi drivers or whoever wanted to hear good music. And it was from one of these cassettes that one of the folks who had a jukebox in the bar, it was her daughter's birthday in Brownstown. And she was saying to me, boy, we know you do all of these cassettes, so you must can play at the party, right? So I went to another sound system owner in the community that I live, Alexandria, Echo Stone. And I remember asking the owner to say, lend me one of your amplifiers and 2 bass boxes. And hence I put the rest of equipment from my component set with that. And we were able to play at the party in Brownstown. And it was such a resounding success because I was a selector everything at that time, And it was such a resounding success. People started to call the next day to say, well, you have to build a sound, you have to build a system, because the party was just shut. But as I said, getting the experience of just knowing the popular songs from early days helped me with that in that regard. And so started Bass Odyssey, because it is from there that the idea came that we need to get equipment and started to expand and to build a sound system. And that is where the idea really started, from that party for that young lady in Brownstown.
In Brownstown. Wow, that is just amazing. So, Bass Odyssey started back in 1989. Take us back to this defining moment. Yes, you did the party. Yes, people placed this dream in your heart and gave you the motivation and confidence. Like, you need a sound system, man. Party shot and all of that. But what was that? What was it like now? Like putting together a sound system. Take us through that process back in 1989.
What we needed now was equipment, amplifiers, speakers. And of course, luckily I was able to travel from a tender age. So I remember striking a deal and going up to New York at Canal Street, and went into one of those music stores, Canal Hi-Fi, and purchasing the then amplifier, the QSC, and then the 1500 was the hit. Some sound owners were using Crown, Sound Craftsman, different amplifiers. But it was strongly recommended to me to use the QSC. So I started to purchase equipment little by little. And our first real playout as Bass Odyssey was Ash Wednesday 89, when we played at a bar opening in Sendeka. And I remember even before that, I used a jukebox amplifier to play the tweeters, because we didn't have enough equipment at the time. But the first real playout as Bass Odyssey was a bar opening in Ash Wednesday, and the sound sounded great. It sounded excellent. Of course, our new equipment, speakers and everything. And it is from there again that we launched real, because every step of the way, it's like a ladder you're climbing. So once we got that off the ground and the dates started to come in, you had to use the money and put back into the business, purchasing additional equipment. And of course, them say they had the monkey climb, the more him expose, meaning that, more people were, you're drawing more attention from people. So weddings, parties, we did the entire gig, of course, until some people said, all right, you say a big man, go and put you up against a big sound. And this is where the challenge really came in, because I remember one of the first big sounds that they put us up against was Bodyguard. And at that time, Bodyguard was really the talk of the day at that time. And so we had to acquire Dubplates and such the like. But maybe I'm skipping the thing too far, because at first we had to play against the Sentan sounds, the turbocharged, there's another system in Discovery Bay, Coxon, I think, and we had to prove ourselves better than those guys, and so the more we played, the more exposure we got, the more people started to give us our ratings, until we had to go up against the big guys, then the big guys of the day.
Wow. On that note, we're going to go for a quick time signal. Don't go anywhere. Soon come back.
Precious moments we share with you, everything's so right. Malta, you're full of life.
The time by Malta is...
It is now 12:45. If you're just joining us, we are journeying with Keith Walford on the road to success. So tune in and turn up now. So, all right. So here it is, Base Odyssey formed, and, you're taking on the country sounds in the area before to prove yourself before you can go up to the top. You're not at the top of the ladder yet, but you're climbing steadily. How old were you though, Keith, to have, this knowledge to ensure that with sound systems, I take it, baseline of a heavy, you need specifics to ensure that these things are in place. Did you have guidance along the way? And what was your driving force to ensure that you follow suit with this idea, this dream that was planted in your heart to create a sound system?
I had guidance. Again, I said to my friend who was born in Duane Park and Winston again in Spanish Town. They were always there in the earlier days, of course, and they played their role. I used to be the one playing the system, going to the studio, hours all hours of the night, cutting all of these dub plates, doing everything. And first selector that we acquired, well, he only played with us for one night at the time, was Mark. And I met him again at a party. I think it was a Christmas party or something. And he was playing then. And we had just acquired his equipment, and he came and he played one gig. And then he migrated. So then because there was a need now for additional selectors for the sound system. So then came Tina One. And Tina One was from Alexandria, right in the area. But he was playing with Jack Ruby, and he was more of a DJ as well. But he was glad for the opportunity, and he came on board. So, Tina One and myself combined for a portion of time. And the demands, again, kept increasing. So we had to look for another selector. And Winston was the one who recommended Glamour G. Glamour G, at the time, was playing in De La Vega City. His sound, I can't remember the name of his sound, but he was in Spanish Town, and he came on board. And then we were playing all over. We were playing in Steer Town, Ponciana Land, places like that. And I remember playing against Easy Rock. And Easy Rock had Squiggy. And at the end of one of the dances with Easy Rock, I remember Squiggy coming to me and said, boy, he would really like to be a part of our setup because we were so organized and everything. And Squiggy came on board. Of course, more selectors coming on board. I am being pushed back now because these are the younger guys coming and really throwing in the nowadays requirements or the demands from the crowd. So Glamour G and Squiggy, they became what we call the juggling twins. Tina One was more the clashman who would be clashing basically, and though in those days, clashes were not like now. Clashes, we used to clash almost every week because the technology was not that advanced where people would be just recording your songs and doing all sorts of counteraction. We used to leave one clash and go to another clash. And the sound systems in those days, that was the thing to do, right? So I don't know if I'm jumping too fast, but...
No, you're not jumping too fast, man.
You're jumping too fast?
No, man, you're not jumping too fast. I wanted to cut in to just basically ask you the sound system that was born in Alexandria. We're talking about a country sound system now. And then you had other sound systems around the time, people running Kingston and that kind of thing. How were you able cement your place and get the recognition as a country sound to gain and garner the respect of persons in Kingston and other sections across the island to respect Base Odyssey?
Well, Base Odyssey, wherever we played, wherever we got bookings to play, people would be calling us from, whether it be on the Grill or Kingston, wherever, right, for bookings. So whenever we go to those events and played, we would make certain that we leave a mark that other people would want to book the sound system. So really, I think that all of this popularity came about because the mark we left wherever we played. And it was always a business aspect. You know, it was never really just a hobby. First, you have to have the very love for the music. But being as a business, you always wanted to make sure that wherever you played, your fans and whoever was in the event were pleased with how you played. And if, for instance, 1 or 2 nights the playing wasn't good, we would be calling a meeting immediately after that to find out what went wrong last night. You have to make the people enjoy and wanting to rebook us wherever we play. And so the extension went around until our name, because in those days, cassette man used to come to dances and take them cassette ninja, cassette this from where, and they would take the cassettes back and send them overseas and send them all over the place. So pretty soon we started to get calls from overseas that, they required us. And I think the first overseas booking that we got was, I think, in Canada. I remember me and Glamour G going up to Canada. And so it spread across to America. So it spread across to England, to Bermuda. And so the tour started. So it was just one thing linking into another. And the more you play, the more you perform well, the more people wanted to book us.
Something significant that you said is, you were the main man. You were the man in the front. You were doing the emceeing and the selecting, and then, the demand increased and, you got other persons. But how did you know when to actually take a step back and allow these new selectors that you were getting to go ahead and run it, to focus on something else? Because some persons would not want to share the spotlight and they would want to remain in that spotlight because of for them sound. What was that deciding factor that helped you to make this bold decision that to me perhaps is likely to contribute to Bass Odyssey's success today?
Yeah, well, it's all about doing what you think the crowd wants. And I was the type of selector, when I'm playing, you'd hardly hear 2 or 3 sentences more than an introduction to the song and who played the song. And of course, when the other selectors playing, they will they hype right throughout. So that wasn't particular by speed. But in clashes, the clashes that I did, I would make a lot of the speeches and introduce the songs because, it's always good when your speech, back up the song that is coming where you're introducing it for. So when I noticed, when it became obvious to me that, listen, what the people really want is the guys going out there and saying, and create that vibe, I said, well, this is kind of leaving me now. So I would step back and mainly play early. And then when these guys come in the 10, 11 o'clock, I would hand over to them. And so the transition came slowly and slowly until I just started with the managerial part of it and just let them have them thing, because it was all about giving the people what they want. And in that time, to me, that was what was taking over.
I remember one time, you couldn't mention Bass Odyssey without talking about the big bad selector, Squiggy. How did Squiggy help to push the Bass Odyssey brand?
Squiggy is one of the guys to me who was born to play music. He was just a natural talent for playing sound systems. Right? When we first saw him in action, we were very impressed because he alone would play, he alone would mix and talk, do everything. He didn't need any help. He alone stand up around that sound. And I remember a particular dance where didn't come off. Only maybe about a dozen, 20 people in there. And when I got outside, to the amount of excitement Squiggy was creating, I was running inside to see by the land full. And when I got to the door and look in, it's Squiggy and the maintenance people alone. And the man, they create such a hype. That, and that was just Squiggy. He had this natural talent. And when it comes to clashing, he would tell you all the different things that you don't want to hear. and when it comes to juggling, he was the perfect selector who could always create that vibe, know to mix him songs. And he was just, as I say, he was a natural talent, and it was a very good thing when Bass Odyssey acquired his expertise, which I still think that we had a lot to do with, developing him as that selector that he eventually became. Because I remember when he first came and he had to stay behind the sound system when Tinawan was playing. And another incident that I remember and I wanted to share to is a dance in Senance Bay, Bassalon, when we were playing with Bodyguard. That was the first time Squiggy really got his big breakout. Because coming from a dance in Portland and set up the sound system, went home to come back to play. A couple of the maintenance guys, people were telling them, turn on the sound before we got back. And they turned on the equipment and somehow messed up and blew up the tweeters. So by the time we got back there, the sound was not sounding good at all because all the tweeters were blown. Somehow they had connected the tweeters in the bass part, right? And no one refused to play the sound. And so I went up to Squiggy and I said, what do you think? You can do this? And he just turned to me and said, oh, yeah, I said, Wally, man, ready, man. And from that, he went out there with the sound system not sounding properly, not sounding good. And he did a command performance and everybody looked up to him and he moved from there to the I can't remember some of those lawns what we used to play. When you try your turn up, Circle B lawn with Silver Hawk, and he just went from strength to strength. And of course, he would recommend Dubplates what he wanted, and we would make certain that we give him what he wanted. And he just moved from strength to strength.
Wow. We're gearing up for a break for cash pots. But when we come back, I want to hear more about how the process was to acquire Dubplates. And we don't know how sound clash going on. In order for a sound to be victorious, a sound must dead. So stick and stay. We're talking, of course, to Keith Walford. He is the founder of the Big Bad Bass Odyssey. But listen up, your top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, hot pick, and cash pot lunchtime draws up next.
When me use Island Fresh with aloe vera, it make me skin feel so much smoother. So if you want to feel better and smell fresher, use Island Fresh with aloe vera.
Manufactured by Island Products, 934-0666.
The time is...
It is now 12:59. We're standing by, so listen up. Your top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick, and cash pot lunchtime draws up next.
Hard something.
Reggae Radio.
Hey, follow me now, where see you now. Hey, upset her. See how upset her. Score outside. On and on and on and on. I'm a winner. You know the time. I'm a winner. Hey, watch out now. I'm on the sun. Oh, we're winning right now, you live. Say we're winning right now. Me forget a trophy to what me living right now. Cause I'm winning right now, yeah. And I'm chilling right now. Oh, we're winning right now. Our Thanksgiving right now. Cause we're winning right now, yeah. I'm winning. I'm winning. Hey, watch out now. Hey, I'm a walking W. Learn from the L's. Turn them in a medal in a trophy and bells. Every day you see we with them on our next film. Great records like we cracking eggshells. And every single ounce of effort we expel. It's all about progress, cause we have to excel. I watch them. Looking like success, we dress well. Boom. Another knockout for the ring the next spell. I'm about to send my haters a card to get well, cause I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it, but that's the whole gist of it. I yet in the beauty when winning now we have it, cause I'm
Special live drawing of the Supreme Ventures lottery games. This could be your lucky day.
Get your tickets out and let the games begin.
Good afternoon. It's Thursday, May 26, 2022. I'm Jalene, and welcome to this afternoon's Supreme Ventures live game draw. Before I begin, here's a quick look at our mid-morning winning numbers. All live draws are being supervised by the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Commission and observed by the independent auditing firm PwC. Now let's put some money in your top draw. This afternoon's jackpot is $600,000. Here are the winning top draw numbers, and good luck.
Oh, we look back the video.
And the first top draw number for this afternoon is 5. The second top draw number is 7. The third top draw number is 11, and following 11, we have 10. And the final top draw number for $600,000 is 22. And now let's pick your player with our dollars game. I hope you're feeling lucky, so get those tickets out. And the first winning dollars number for this afternoon is 30. The second winning dollars number is 3. The third winning dollars number is 32. And following 32, we have 22. Next up is 19. And following 19, we have number 10. Coming down is 21. And following 21 is 13. Following 13 is 35. I wonder what's next. It's coming down. We have 31, and following 31 is 24. And now for the final dollars number for this afternoon, we have number 6. Now for some easy winnings with our Pick 2 game. Let's play. And the first Pick 2 number is 33. The second Pick 2 number is 9. Once again, the winning Pick 2 numbers are 33 and 9. Up next, you can play 3 ways. It's our Pick 3 game. And the first Pick 3 number for this afternoon is 3. The second Pick 3 number is 9. And the third and final Pick 3 number is 2. Once again, the winning Pick 3 numbers are 3, 9, and 2. It's time to turn up the winnings, so get ready for Pick 4. And the balls are bubbling. The first Pick 4 number for this afternoon is 7. The second Pick 4 number, what will it be? We have 8. The third Pick 4 number is 0. And the fourth and final Pick 4 number is 5. Once again, the winning Pick 4 numbers are 7, 8, 0, and 5. It's easy for wins, so let's heat things up with Hot Pick. And the winning Hot Pick number is 11. Congratulations to all Hot Pick winners. Again, the winning number is 11. Cashpot money train run, and this week you can win $290 for every $10 winning Cashpot bet. Let's get ready to play our Cashpot game for Thursday, May 26, 2022. You live to play it, but can you win it? Get ready to be a big Cashpot winner. Now let's see what the winning Cashpot number will be. And this afternoon's winning Cashpot number is 35. Congratulations to all Cashpot winners. Again, the winning number is 35. It's now time for some mega winnings, so good luck. And what do we have for this afternoon? It's coming up. What will it be? Get those tickets out, and a mega ball has been selected. Go mega 6 times per day for more chances to win big. Again, the winning Cashpot number is 35. The lucky mark is GOAT, and a mega ball was selected for Pick 3, Pick 4, Cashpot, and Hot Pick. Now let's take a look at this afternoon's winning numbers. Congratulations to everyone who won. New scratchers now available. Get money slots and cash on the spot games right now and win enough. Join us again at 3 p.m. for more games you love to play. I'm Jalene. Have a supreme afternoon.
Hope you were a big winner. Play your favorite Supreme Ventures games every day and tune in for our live draw 6 times a day at 8:30 a.m., 10:30 a.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 5 p.m., and 8:25 p.m. on this station. Supreme Ventures, making winners every day.
That was the lunchtime top draw dollars, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, hot pick and cash pot draws. Congratulations to all of today's winners. Join us again at 3 p.m. for another chance to win in hot pick and cash pot special pot draws. So, Keith, Mr. Walford, before cash pots, I wanted to find out, how you went about getting your dub plates, because we know that, running a sound system can be an expensive venture because dub plates are not necessarily cheap. How did Bass Odyssey go about getting some of those classic and top and hot dub plates over the years?
It was a combination of ideas, firstly, and we have to big up Dennis Starr, who was a brother to my friend, and he helped us in certain ways in acquiring, because he was a producer. And so we had a few producers, friends and so forth. But really, the ideas came from whom we would think of the dub plates that we want to put together. We wanted to be unique, to do something different. And most of the songs, we would reword them in our own way. And we would have to spend a lot of time. We used to spend a lot of time at the studios. I remember Arrow's recording studio. I used to spend days there. We used to spend days. Sometimes you leave there and you go to another studio, and that was what it was. That was what it required. And we always tried to be cutting the songs whenever they were coming out. And some of the songs we actually got from the artists before they released them. So it was a combination again of quite a few different factors, because the dub plates were there, but we had a good core of selectors playing them, guys who really were hungry for that kind of music. And when we, after demolishing most of the Sentan sounds and stepping up to the big plate to play Bodyguard, Stone Love, and those sound systems, we held our own and did very, very well. And it was, I have to again attribute a lot of these to the team that we had. It was a very, very good team. After, as I said, Tina One, and then Glamour G came on the scene, Squiggy came on the scene, Lenny came on the scene, because what happened now is that we were getting overseas bookings, so selectors had to travel, so we needed more selectors here in Jamaica to play and so forth. So the demand, we had to get selectors to fill the breach. And I remember Charly Black.
Charly, yes, before he became an international star, he was a part of Bass Odyssey. What quality did you see in Charly when you gave him that that life-changing opportunity?
Well, I remember being in my office one night and heard somebody call out, because we had played against a sound system that Charly was playing maybe a year or so before. So we knew his talent. He was a very talented youngster again. But, Bass Odyssey was Bass Odyssey. We were the sound that was really kicking butts, so to speak, out there. So I remember hearing the knock, and he came to me here and another selector from the sound that they were playing before. And we came to an agreement to say, okay, we're gonna do a little trial run with you. And Charly went on and really impressed. And he did his role very well. And when he eventually went into recording, we stood with him just the same. And I remember the first time I think Charly traveled he was going to Canada for a clash. I think he and Mark went to Canada for a clash. And then he got his documents and started to tour for Bass Odyssey. So he's still here. As a matter of fact, even nowadays, a couple of weeks ago, he was still playing Bass Odyssey. It's one of his passions.
Wow.
And, when he's available, he still comes around and play. Of course, we have to big up the other selectors like Damian Delinge, who is now one of our top selectors. He came on board while Mark and Squiggy were doing their thing. As Mark had gotten back into the fold, and he and Squiggy formed a very good partnership that was recognized all over the world. And Damian came on board in those times. We have Worm, who is on board for quite a while now. Those are some of the oldest selectors on the sound system. And so it went on, and we keep acquiring. Right now, I think we have about 30 selectors. And I will have to name every one of them before the program is out. Otherwise, maybe I'll never hear the end of it. They might not turn up for dance weekend.
But have you ever gotten a dub plate from an artist that gave another sound system the same dub plate, or even counteracting a dub plate that they gave you in a clash? And how did you deal with that situation as management?
Hey, Kashima, there's just so much you can do with dub plates. The artists, as a man would say, they cannot be tamed, right? Mm-hmm. Some people, like we have heard of sound systems who actually pay artists not to give us the dub plates because they know we're going to be playing against them. So we have heard of that, but we have never traveled that route. What happens now, I can recall a particular moment when you talk about counteractions in clashes. It was a world clash in Montego Bay, and I think Sound Trooper they were making a name for themselves, Trooper. And Cartel, he had given us a counteraction. I think he gave Trooper a song, but gave us a counteraction, and he didn't know that we had it, right? That is Trooper. So he went on and played it, disrespecting us, because, the sound clash thing, sometimes the artists call up your name with all sort of things to humor and for the other sound system to get forward. So this particular dub plate Cartel did for him and disrespecting us, calling us all sort of name. But so we knew he had that. So we were cutting a lot of Cartels, dub plates too, because when in the early Cartel days, we were cutting Cartel like crazy. So we said, well, if you can't give him that, you can give us the counteraction to it. So he gave us the counteraction to it, and we didn't play it. We just kept it and didn't play it. And that particular night when he got the big forward in Mobile for it, the next round when we came in and laid down the counteraction on him, the whole place in our turmoil, it was like, it was like an explosion in the venue at Pier 1. And would you believe me? And this is what happened, that he recorded a re-counteraction for Trooper. Based off of how the clash was going, he recorded a re-counteraction and sent it, I think, via whatever he sent it by, and Trooper got the song the same night, And in the next round, played a re-counteraction to our counteraction. And I think that's the only world clash that Trooper won in Mobile. And that was what helped him, because the technology was advanced to that time where you could do a dub plate in a car. You have your own little machine, put it on CD, and he did it. And that was the forward that he got to overtake our forward. So going into clashes, that is something that has helped to kind of deter the clashes, because a lot of sound systems, they listen to your tunes, they go to the clashes, and for the first round, what they're playing with Bass Odyssey, we can't tell all of what they're going to play. They play all of the Bass Odyssey songs that they can find that are hits, that they know we're going to get forwards for. So they try to play it that we cannot play it. So what that does now, it pushes us all the while to be cutting new songs that they don't know we have. So sometimes you go into a clash, Bass Odyssey and another sound, and for the first round or so that the other sound plays, it's all Bass Odyssey songs. And in the early days, people would boo the sound for that, because they would say, Bass Odyssey Anthem those. But nowadays, people just listen to it, they play it, then we can't play it. So we have to get creative and keep cutting songs in order to keep our crowd. So the sound clash thing, very, very expensive. And it is always requiring you to be creative in how you go about it.
And not only is it expensive, but it is also a very tense situation, because with clashes, in order for a sound to be victorious, a sound of the dead. Can you remember a moment where a clash between Bass Odyssey and a next sound was so intense that, it still resonates with you to this very day, because, it could have gone anyway?
Well, I think one of the closest clashes that we would have lost, I think it was a world clash in New York when we led the clash the entire way from round 1, round 2, round 3. We led, and if those days were when you win 3 consecutive rounds, you lock off a sound. But the guidelines or the rules of that particular clash was still required us to go to tune for tune. And I can remember this young sound in Canada that we led them the entire way, and they came back in the tune for tune and won the tune for tune segment. And when we did a analysis, we look back at what we did wrong. I think we had gone into that clash cutting some one-away 1-for-1 tunes that the crowd wasn't as popular with. Because sometimes, you go into a clash and you have songs that you just, even if you played last night, you have to play it back tonight, because that's what the crowd wants to hear. And I think that particular night, we experimented with some new songs, some new 1-for-1s that we cut, and that sound came into it and just played the regular no, and those things, and got the forward. And after winning the clash the entire night, we lost in the tune for tune. And that was one. And I remember another incident with Mighty Crown where we were tied we were tied with just one song to go. It happened to us with Radigan as well. But there are quite a few where we were tied tune for tune, and then one song decided the winner. We lost one, we win some, and that is how it is. It all depends on the crowd and the momentum, what is going with you. And, this song, the crowd will boo you. The next song, they see one turn around and give you the props. So it's a very unpredictable thing, sound clashes.
Over the years, based on this, you would have seen the evolution of technology, and you kind of alluded to it a short while ago when you mentioned Trooper and a clash and how, he had gotten a Dubplates in a jiffy. Having gone through these different technologies as it relates to sound system, is it much easier now being a part of a clash in terms of how you can acquire Dubplates, or you feel like just with everything being so easy, it kind of takes away from the true essence of how a clash should be?
It goes both ways. There are advantages and there are massive disadvantages. In the earlier days, like right now, every corner you go in Jamaica, there's a selector with a laptop. And to me, sometimes it's like you see a man today and he's selling in a store, and the next day you see him, he's a selector with him laptop. He maybe had a dream and him just say, boy, that is what he wants to do. And him download a lot of songs. In the earlier days, of course, before the laptop era, when we had to be playing from vinyl, the steel, them call it, right? It was so much more difficult because the owners or the selectors had to go to the studios and they had to record and then re-record. And it was very hard for a selector to acquire your Dubplates, those days. Then came the CD era where the selectors used to just, you send them out and you send them to play somewhere and they copy all of the Dubplates to, it takes a few minutes and they copy it off. And the next thing you know, your selector is now playing somewhere else that you don't even know because he has now acquired your Dubplates. So it's a lot of disadvantages. And of course, with the introduction of the laptop, it compounded and made things even so much more difficult because now there is a barrage of the whole business is saturated with just laptop selectors, and you can't blame them. I mean, a man thinks that he sees the success of somebody else and he wants to, to do it. So he does his own thing.
Mr. Walford, a message is coming in via Instagram Live. DJ Milton67 is asking, how did the Buju Banton Anthem come about? Buju Banton Anthem come about?
Well, Buju Banton has always been one of our favorite DJs. Because these are some of the artists that I spent a lot of time when I was in the sound cutting the dub. Buju Banton, Bounty Killer, Beanie Man, Capleton. Those veterans, I'm all familiar with every one of them. And just to answer that specific question, it was Charly Blacks who actually wrote that song. He and Mark were going to the studio and he actually wrote the song. And I remember when they gave it to Buju and a Buju argument was all, I don't like nobody write no song for me, you know. That is just Buju. But then he read it and he vibed it out. And to date, it is one of the songs that will forever stand, because I think we are one of the only sound systems, at least the only sound system in the world that can play that song. Because we actually did everything on it, and Buju just did our part first, and then after him do our part, he went into it and him say, that part was for them, no, this are for we, and he put in his own style to finish it off. And that Buju Banton Anthem stands out and will forever stand out as long as sound system is playing.
Bass Odyssey. Now, we're going to go for a quick time signal, and when we come back, we find out, how through Bass Odyssey you have created generational wealth. Stick and stay.
Are you a tourism worker? Then sign up for the Ministry of Tourism's innovative Tourism Workers Pension Scheme and retire in comfort. The time by the Ministry of Tourism is?
It is now 1:20. So we are continuing the journey on the road to success with Keith Walford. He is the founder of the Big Bad Bass Odyssey sound system. Now, with Bass Odyssey, you have provided not only employment for others, but you have also created generational wealth for your family. How were you able to get your children to be involved and a part of the Bass Odyssey brand?
That was easy, really, because my children, I give thanks, and every day I say I give thanks. The Father has blessed me with a few children, and they are, most of them who are around me are involved with the music. Dwayne is in charge of one of the sound systems right now, and he does bookings here in Jamaica as well. So the booking number, of course, that number I originally had, and when I went into politics, I passed it on to him. And Keithy, one of my other sons, he used to play, still plays. He plays out of Orlando mostly. And of course, Yannick is in the States, and she does the Facebook page and updates and does everything. And I have to pause to say that she's the one who actually brainstormed the anniversary event in Richmond. And this year she'll be doing 2 nights of it. The first night will be a sound clash with sounds that actually have sounds, string up sounds, no laptop sounds. Because we are passionate towards people who have sounds. We think that is where the foundation is. People love to come and hear the quality as to the dubplates, not just playing on a PA system and hear dubplates. So we're passionate toward people with sounds. So we have those on the Friday night. And of course, on the Saturday night, it will be the veteran sounds, Jar or Bass Odyssey, Stone Love, and maybe an artist or two. So I'm just to inject that there. But can you remind me the part of the question?
Your 33 anniversary. No, man, you have answered it, and that is in relation to your 33 anniversary celebration.
Celebration, yeah. Of course, the short time I have on right now was the last time we kept it in Richmond. 2019, we had taken a break because Yannick was not available to do all of the groundwork. And I tell her point blank that, listen, this is your show. I only support you. So you would have to be here to do all of the run up and down the preparation. Because a lot of people don't know just how much preparation goes into a show of this magnitude, So she's the one who did it. And she's coming out to make certain that all of her groundwork is in place. And I just support them. So my children, they support me, I support them. And my only regret now is maybe I need 1 or 2 more of them in the business with me, because presently I have about 3 or 4, but I would need more of them because I think the platform has been set. And I am slowly but surely backing out of it, just passing on the baton and slowly stepping back. And one day I hope to just come and see what they're doing, because I really wanted to retire at age 60. I am a little bit past that now, and I am as young as I think I am really. But I would hope that
very, very good.
Yeah, but the good Father, it has always been said to me that you're gifted with 70. Anything after that is brought up. So I am hoping that I can enjoy my time leading up to the 70, and the Father will bless me with a lot of brata. But in the meantime, I want my children to come in and to really take this thing and run with it and keep it. They don't have to build a name again. I tell them already, just maintain the name that is there and you'll be all set to go. We just need to maintain it.
What would you say to some persons who are of the notion that the sound system culture is not as vibrant as it was, for instance, like back in the 90s?
I think it's a different crowd.
Do you think that it is dying?
No, I would never say that it is dying. I have seen the hunger for the music after the pandemic. 2 years shut down where the trucks and everything just parked and there was no music playing. I've seen the hunger. And even during the pandemic, we got so many offers to go out there and play. But being a man who I am, I refused them all. I said, no, I'm not leaving. This is a pandemic. That is what is happening. And I'm not into running up and down from the law either, because I am very familiar with nearly all the police officers, and I'm not into that. But I saw the hunger for the music when the restrictions were lifted. I mean, the amount of calls we got just trying to rebook dates that we are taking deposits for and new calls. So I don't see a problem with the music going anywhere like dying. I think it is more that the younger generation that is coming up now, maybe we have to just adjust to what they want to hear. But really in the 90s, when, you had more a different kind of audience who loved to hear some of the foundation, the reggae, right? Nowadays, now, of course, we have the Afrobeat that is coming in with their own thing. And you have to just try and create a balance when you go to the dances to make certain that the people have a good time. We are a sound system that if we have our own way, we would play Dubplates from morning till nighttime. But we know that a lot of people don't like that. Right. So sometimes you go to a Bass Odyssey event and you hear just 4, 5, 6 Dubplates for the night because of what the people want to hear. And then you go to another event and it's pure Dubplates because that's what the people want to hear. So it's just adjusting and making certain you please your audience.
Now, let's talk about Keith Walford, the politician. I mean, you did a 4-year stint in politics. Can you remember who or what sparked your political interest, and how would you describe that experience?
I tell you, every time I think of that aspect of my life, because I was never into politics, If I was on my way home and heard of a political meeting keeping there, so I would drive 10 miles a detour that I don't go through it. I don't have to encounter with these politicians or people at political meetings. Right? And the first time I ever voted was when I voted for myself. I just kept far from it. I recognize that, yes, we have to have a government that leads the country, but it was never my interest. But, how I got into politics is that I love dominoes. This is one of my favorite pastimes as well. And I remember playing some dominoes one night, and the representative that we had here in Southwest England, in my opinion, was not doing enough. He was not doing a good job at all. And so just playing and drinking, and I run up my mouth to say, if that man is going back, I am going to run against him. That's where it started, Simple as that. And some of the people that were at the event while the domino was being played took it back to somebody in a high place in the People's National Party. And by the following morning, I got a call that they hear that I'm interested in running for politics. So, of course, after laughing for a few minutes, I said, no, sir, you have the wrong number. And believe you me, the calls kept coming. They came from every level because it was thought of that I would be a good representative because of my involvement with the cricket and the football, everything in the area. Because as a sportsman, I had organized football and cricket competitions for Mr. Gallimore, who was a member of parliament, for Mr. Shaw, for Mr. Smith. I did all of those things, but not with any political thing in mind, just wanting to see sports playing in my community. So and then the owner of Bass Odyssey, so the popularity, I was thought to be a good candidate, and I got quite a bit of calls, and sat with my children and discussed it. So, boy, if I go into this, that is going to affect Base Odyssey, because we're going to lose a few of our diehearted customers who are on the other side, who don't believe in booking you because you are. And, I decided that after making a last call, because I remember it was like about 3 weeks before the elections, and I told the person who's in charge of this constituency that if it is that the present, that time the present member of parliament, if he was going back, I would run against him because I didn't want him to go back. But if the party put another person in there and, who I thought would represent the area well, I would not be going into politics. So I happened to have been overseas at the time. And I remember getting the call that the Labour Party had announced their slate and the same gentleman was going to be going back. So they are now depending on me to keep my word and run against him. So being a man of my word, I kept my word and came back down 3 weeks before the election. And I was called into a meeting as I got back and I won the seat. And I really have no regrets because I did the best I could. I think I did quite a bit of work in my 4 years, I really didn't think I would have lost because of the amount of work that I had put in terms of trying to get the hospital back in shape, the heart center, additional classes for the high school, converting a lot of pit toilets into modern day things, a lot of things, a sidewalk. There's so many numerous things that I did, getting a new school up in, where was that now? Douglas Castle, I think. So many things, right? Even the roadway that is paved from here going down, I was the one who originally got the approval for it. And I lost. And so that's one of the chapters in my life where I've shut the book on and say, well, if there's a time that the Father gave me, I definitely don't want to be in politics because it is too stressful. I live in the heart of the constituency. So sometimes you wake up in the morning and see people, can't send their children to school. It's a stressful thing, very stressful. And it's a chapter in my life that I think I've closed the book on and without any regrets.
Wow. Who knew time is going by so quickly? I really feel like I could just continue talking with you. You are so articulate and expressive and you're telling your story and it is so easy to follow and understand and full of excitement and a lot of knowledge as well. But in closing, Mr. Walford, your journey reminds us that through hard work and perseverance and dedication and commitment, the possibilities are truly endless, and that's just not a cliche. What message would you give to persons who are listening now? Maybe it's somebody who has a dream in their heart to own a sound system, but they don't see how or have a way. Or, just people who are stuck on their journey and need a bit of motivation and encouragement.
Boy, you said the time and I didn't even realize that the hours passed so quickly. But, sound system, some people do it for the hobby, just a joke of it because they have a money and they don't know what to do with it. But for those who really love the music and want to see the music grow, and, I would say that follow your dreams. But before I go, I have to big up all of my selectors, and I know the time is running out, right? So Damon, Dylan,
go ahead, big them up.
I can go ahead?
Go ahead. Yes, man.
Yeah, man. So Damian Dillinger, who is on his way to London right now, because Base Odyssey is continuing a tour over there in London as of this weekend. And of course, Worm, who just got back from Canada on the weekend, where we did very well. Lex Keaty Keat, who is on his way back to New York as well. Vilmore, Country Speng, holding it down in New York, bless up. Stenet Stepper, Spready Glory, the first real town man who has come around the sound and made his name. Price, he had another name, but Price he thought was more fitting. Mario, Deshaun, Harry D. I hope Jovi D, one of the young selectors. I hope I haven't left out anything. Now, if you big up Father, I welder them down the bottom there, who every time the box, the angler and pop off of the box, them have to come and repair it that we can get to go again and keep the truck going on the road. My drivers, Brant, who has been there from day one with me, Robbie we present driver, big up doing. There's so many people around Base Odyssey that I'd love to pick up, and sorry that the time I've even run out before I could get to all of them. But the maintenance crew who, you know, they have their roles to play. If they are not there, it's a chain, and if, whenever the link break, you know, there's a problem. Ricky, the maintenance crew who make certain the box are in the right position, the man who roll out the wire, the man who play early. You know, it's just so many of us. But Base Odyssey Systems, I think we employ over 30 people. Is a family. Is a family with selectors, maintenance, and everybody, and management. And we think of each other. And I must say that we are fortunate that we hardly have anybody leaving Base Odyssey going anywhere. Once you see a selector on Base Odyssey, it's almost as if they are there for life, right? We big up Skinny, who was one of them who moved on, but he's still amongst us. Tina One is still amongst us too. And basically, the entire family is very together, and we look forward to continuing the music. And as I said, I just hope and pray that my children will keep that name, you know, high and up there for all the fans and people out there that Base Odyssey will play forever.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Keith Walford. This was absolutely awesome. Founder of Base Odyssey, former politician, and you hear him close the chapter upon that book. But what a story, nice.
wicked bass of this. The great bass of the sound is big. Boys in the tune I'm about to play is a bass of this sample. For every sound, boys, I'm going to sample. Lord of mercy. Bass of this sound.
It may only be another minute. It may only be another minute. It may only be another minute.
The messages are coming in for Mr. Keith Walford. We're going to go to all the messages in a little bit, but we're going to run quickly to a commercial break, and we're also going to take a trek on the road. We are going to link up with DJ Teddy.
Respect.
Reggae in the morning, reggae in the evening, reggae at night time on Irie Radio. Reggae in the morning, reggae in the evening, reggae at night time on Irie Radio.
All right, now Irie FM now brings you a live link from the Center and Association of Branch Associates, JAS,